This right here is what my garden looks like today. And this is what it looks like 4 months later. So a lot has changed here. First and foremost, I built these 3 raised garden beds and filled them. You'll see behind me a couple of grow bags with a variety of things: basils, watermelons, strawberries, things of that nature. Cilantro in the back as well. And then what I'm most proud of, which you see right overhead, I've got a beautiful, perfect, professional, flawless, state-of-the-art DIY garden shade. Yeah. What you looking at? Stop looking over there. Stop. No, over here. My eyes are right here. Okay, obviously there's some work to do there. There's some DIY skills left to be desired, but I'm glad to have started. And so far we've made a lot of progress. And this is the part where I'm supposed to have an intro sequence and a transition sequence, but I don't have one yet because this is my first video. So throughout the last 8 or so years, I have been inspired many times over by a bunch of creators out there, a bunch of gardeners on YouTube, mainly Mark from Self-Sufficient Me down in Australia, and Epic Gardening, Kevin and Jobs from Epic Gardening. Those guys have been some of the biggest gardening inspiration that I have had over the years. I can literally recall many days where I was just chilling either at home or in a social setting, social gathering, just sat in the corner. My introverted dog sat in the corner watching gardening videos and dreaming up a life in a big old homestead, right? Big old acreage. Now, I don't really live in an acreage yet, but I hope that will happen in the future. But at the moment, I have a little tomato plant that its stem got munched on. We'll see if it lives. At the moment, I live in the suburban backyard, and it does offer plenty of space to start a little food garden. And so that's what I've been doing. And so with that inspiration, I finally, now that I have finished school and finished my university studies, I finally decided to just start up a garden. Now I share this suburban house with my family, so my mom's obviously the one who owns a house, but I share it with two of my brothers and my mom. And this food garden is a perfect starting place because I don't have to go too big, but I can start developing the skills. That way, once I do move out and find my own place, I'll be able to kind of have a good plan for that new space moving forward. And so thankfully I did have the foresight to record what this space looked like just 4 months ago. We're talking January, it's currently April. Well, March, February, 3 months ago, whatever. Anyways, and so I present to you, dear viewer, the garden from the beginning of this year. Boom. I do plan on turning this space into a food garden in the future and kind of tidy it up. Right now we've got a couple of messes going here. You can see there's a lot of weeds around. There's kind of some very old landscaping here that I hopefully do plan on tidying up, but I will be leaving my job on February 7th of this year, and once that time comes around, I'm going to be completely trying out YouTube full-time. And in that, I do hope to kind of take you guys along for the journey of converting this backyard space into a food garden, going on outdoor adventures, just doing all sorts of things. And so I'm kind of going to show you guys around real quick. I'm going to record on my phone as well, just so you can see, but I can't make this up, guys. I didn't hit record. Anyways, we're going to start that again and pretend like that didn't happen. All right, we're going to start again. Shh, you guys didn't see anything. And so right here we do have our, this used to be a rear patio type of deal with a little roof on there that we had to tear down when we redid our actual asphalt roof there, which right now we're in the process of rebuilding it. It's very expensive, but it'll hopefully be worth it. I mean, it's part of the house, so we do plan on bringing that back anyways. As you can see here, I've got my gym set up there. It is going to be a bit tight with the roof there. I won't be able to do pull-ups quite as nicely, unfortunately, but that's okay. We'll make do. I can always lower those pull-up bars a little bit too, since I am a tall person, but I'm not that tall. But as you see here, we've got a little bit more of that rear patio. It does stretch the whole length of the house, and we do plan on extending it all the way. And then over there in that corner, it's just a side gate area. I'm definitely gonna be beefing that up a little bit so that I can easily bring in soils, wheelbarrows, all that stuff. We do need that area clear because it is gonna be a high traffic area. As you see, we've also got an empty space here. You do see my little nopales there, little cuttings that I had to save for my old plant. I'll get into that in a moment. But this area, I do hopefully plan on adding some raised beds here too. We've never really had too much out here. As you can see right there, there's a slight little concrete thingamajigamabob that used to be a place where we would hang up our clothes in the past until we got a dryer. And so, I don't know, we might find a way to repurpose that. And this right here is the tool shed. This tool shed has seen way better days. It's not great. It isn't in the best of conditions, but I'll kind of bring you guys a little closer so you can see. And also there's my little nopales. These actually came from a second cactus plant that I planted over there in the corner. Fortunately, it died due to my negligence. I also didn't know how to plant them very well, so but thankfully we got the other one going. But I saved those cuttings to hopefully propagate them into new plants in the future. So I hope that they do survive. I'll be very sad if they don't, but they're prickly pears. They'll carry along. I'm gonna actually zoom out a little bit so you guys can see better. This right here is our tool shed from the inside. It's got a lot of junk in here, and I do plan on getting rid of a lot of this shit. I can turn those into firewood. I can turn that into firewood, maybe. But there's a lot of materials here that we just don't use. There's a lot of shit in here that we don't use. For instance, a lot of this stuff is my aunt's. She still hasn't come over to pick it up after so many years. We're probably just gonna throw that stuff out. We got a little tarp there. Bunch of different like automotive chemical containers like antifreeze, oil. Plan on getting rid of that stuff. Hopefully decluttering there. I do hopefully want to set up a sort of pegboard in the future where I can put all my gardening tools, because we got shovels here, we got rakes. You could see my little Echo string trimmer, weed eater. I also use that regularly, but it's kind of in the corner at the moment. But lots of stuff to get rid of there. As you can see here, there's some countertops. I don't know, we were planning on hopefully turning that into an outdoor sink area, but that plan kind of didn't unfold. What you guys will notice as well is we've got a lot of rocks lining the whole perimeter of the property. As you can see, they're covered in weeds. They don't really do very well as far as being rocks. They just get really ugly with the weeds. I trim them out, the weeds grow back. It's just very ugly. We'll go over to the corner here, and in this area we have got our little nopales. This plant, I love this thing so much, but unfortunately I made two big mistakes here. The first one was I didn't really use enough cactus soil, like, you know, citrus, cactus, palm soil that you want to use when you grow, some well-draining soil for these plants, and so they're always suffering. And another issue is this area is very much, like, how do I explain it, dented. There's a divot here. All that to say, the water pools here. It doesn't drain very well, and so as you can see, not only are there a bunch of weeds growing here and flourishing, but this area also, it's not a very great environment for the cactus. It's not well draining enough, and so that's what killed my second plant, which I had right there. Rest in peace. It's still living in the form of those little cuttings, but unfortunately, that cactus is probably going to keep suffering because of it, but we'll see what happens. And then as we go over here towards this side, you can see that there isn't much over here either. This area, same thing, it's not very level either because of past landscaping projects. When my dad was still around and lived here, he used, not that he's dead, he's just, you know, family separated. Anyways, that used to be a big pile of dirt that eventually kind of just did that, and so it's not level. I'll see if I can get that leveled as well, and then you know, you can add some raised beds there, just something that might benefit from a little bit better partial shade, because this does cover the sun for a portion of the day during the summer. The way our house is oriented, the yard, the house is east facing, so the sun will kind of come up and then it'll set down there. And so it's going to be perfect for growing, at least plants that love the full sun. And so, I don't know, I do plan on drawing up a couple of plans to see what we can do, but I would love to see something along the lines of some raised beds going that way, same thing there. I could turn it into a completely, I can turn it into a complete like food garden, or I could also add trees. You never know what's gonna happen, but. Hey guys, editing ginseng here. I'm recording this because I'm saving you guys from just straight up yap for the last 2 minutes of this tour. I don't want to put you guys through that. No, it's not because I didn't have a good transition between the two, between the past and present day. No, it's not because I spent the last hour trying to make them both connect well. Anyways, guys, now that you have seen the garden and how it looked like before I started this journey back in January, I'm going to be taking us back to the present day so that you can see some of the things that I'm working on as we speak, as I edit this video. It is April 16th right now. Boom. I have made a lot of progress here so far with building out the first raised beds, getting some of the first plants started, and making many of my first mistakes as well. As you might be able to pick up, especially you seasoned growers out there, I've got some brassicas in here right now. Now, I live in Phoenix, and if you know anything about Phoenix, it's hot as fuck here. And when it gets hot as fuck, things don't like to grow because they struggle. I have made mistakes like sowing these brassicas. I've got here some cauliflowers that are meant to be flourishing, prospering, but they're not. They keep getting attacked by pests. The leaves have a bunch of holes in them, and the plants themselves they've just been so stunted this whole time. Their broccoli is just to the right of it. Brassicas are supposed to be more of a cold-loving plant, and these things are struggling. For whatever reason, I haven't had the heart to kill them yet, but I really need to. That way the roots can start to decay and I can plant something new over here. Unfortunately, it's just one of those mistakes that I made as a very beginner gardener. I'll kind of go more into it in the future as well, but I misread the packets as well. I didn't understand what starting indoors meant, and so hence why these guys are about 8 weeks late from where they ought to be planted, the growth stage they ought to be in. Currently the temperatures, we're actually having a very nice pleasant day today, but it's on average like 85, 90 degrees, 90-degree highs at this time of the year. And I am making another mistake. I am kind of watering the leaves. I promise, guys, I'm not that noob. No, I'm pretty noob. And so with my channel, my goal is not to put myself in a box of just doing gardening videos, because there's a lot of different things that I want to do. To be transparent with you guys, I recently left my job about a couple months ago. I left it in February. I was sick and tired of the corporate world, even just after working for 2 years. It's just not my thing. It's not the lifestyle I want to live. You know, it's good for a certain kind of personality and mindset, but it's just not mine. You know, more power to you if you do enjoy and thrive in the corporate world, but that's okay. I want to be able to thrive in a more of an unconventional lifestyle. You know, doing content creation, finding gig work, just living a reasonable and sustainable means, such as gardening in your backyard. Just being able to reconnect with nature and kind of take a more unconventional approach to life. That's what I want this channel to be about. I want to be able to approach an alternative lifestyle and kind of explore and hopefully arrive at more meaningful ways to live life. And one of those ways that I am going to express that is by learning to garden in a place that's typically thought of as barren and dry and like I live in a desert. You wouldn't think that it's intuitively possible to garden in the desert, but as you can see, I mean, some of the plants are struggling a bit, like these cilantro, they're bolting, but Like, we've got very lush and green potatoes growing. I've got this amazing basil bush growing. I've got some strawberries that you can't really see in the back that are growing. They're shooting runners. I'm propagating that plant. There are a lot of things that you can grow out here, and you know, the average person doesn't really probably think about gardening, at least to the scale that I hope to. And so that's just one of the examples of how I wish to explore unconventional alternative lifestyles. I've also got a lot of passion projects that I'm working on as well. I love music. It's one of my big life passions. I love power metal. I love synth wave. I love electronic music. I love classical music. I spent many years of my high school, basically all my high school, playing in band and marching bands and jazz band and orchestra, and so I want to be able to reconnect with that. And this channel is hopefully going to serve as an opportunity for me to dive into that world again, while also hopefully sharing some meaningful information, some meaningful education with you guys, and you know, maybe some money will come that way. I'm going to be wrapping up the video here pretty shortly because I don't want it to get too long. But overall, I just want this channel to be a way to explore the unconventional yet meaningful ways to live. And so expect many different projects to come out. I'll also be transparent with you guys. I don't have a lot of money left, but I am finding ways to be able to supplement the income through gig work, and maybe in the future, once I actually get some content going and have something meaningful to give back, I might open up a bit of a Patreon or something like that. Ways that if you guys want to support the channel, want to support the mission I'm on, I'd be very happy to open that up. And if you guys are so inclined, you're welcome to contribute to that. But I won't be opening those until I actually feel like I've delivered something meaningful, which it's going to take it's going to take some reflection and a couple of months of work for me to really know for sure if I'm ready for that. But stay tuned in case you guys are interested. Alright guys, if you have made it this far, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys supporting the project, and this has been many months in the making, but I'm very happy to finally release the first video. I gotta go back and edit this, but if you do have any ideas for how we can make this better, any plans that you have had loads of success with when it's hot, if you yourself are a gardener that lives in Phoenix or any of the southwest area, deserty area, please hit me up. Let me know what works for you. Let me know what projects you're working on. Definitely sound off in the comments if you have any feedback, any thoughts, any questions, any suggestions. Just let me know. I'll be reading all the comments, and yeah, that's all for now. Until next time. And there's a beautiful little butterfly that just flew behind the camera.